You know what it is.
Yeah. Keep the low.
You know what it is.
Yeah. Keep the low.
Yo, what's going on? It's Vari from the You Know What It Is podcast, man.
Vari.
I am back today with Randii. We're doing our thing, man. Normally we do these on Saturdays, but it is Sunday and we are, still here for the people. So, Randii, how you doing? Because your mic ain't up.
Hello? No, I can't.
Oh, you can't hear anything in there?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Ah, that's why. Wait, that's not why.
Oh, there we go.
Was that why?
There we go. Yep.
Okay.
That was why. Some technical difficulties. Yeah, what's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
So what's up?
Yeah, so today I kind of wanted to
Let's throw this on the ticker. We'll throw up any topics or ideas or whatever that we are talking about. We'll scroll across the screen. Instagram, I'm sorry. We're getting those capabilities. We'll figure it out for y'all.
yeah. But until then, y'all can still hear. But yeah, I just wanted to, have a conversation about the post that I had just made about what men and women, really need in relationships, and just addressing it on a basic level rather than getting into all the intricacies and the differences in relationships and stuff. At the foundation, what women need and what men need.
Right. And are we strictly talking about are we talking financial, spiritual?
We're talking
mental,
emotional, right? Like what we need emotionally,
okay,
for emotional support. And I definitely think that it's just relevant with the times, just considering, there's like a lot of stress, there's a lot of tension in people's lives individually, and collectively. And so I think that it's adding pressure onto relationships in different ways.
Right.
So definitely something I want to touch on. It's something that I got inspired to look more into from this book. I had already showed it on my other live, but Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. It's a great book. It's by John Gray. He's a psychologist, and he helps with marriage counseling and everything like that. So the information that he has in that book is just you got to pick it up.
Yeah.
Because it's really goes deep into how simple things can be actually handled. I think that sometimes we think that relationships are harder than they actually are. However, if we just follow a particular set of guidelines, it really can make the difference and make things easier. Right. You're still going to go through hardships. Things are not always going to be easy. However, I think this book really lays a foundation for how to make the tough times easier to handle.
Right.
One thing I did want to mention, though, I talked about this on my live the other day. The stuff that I'm talking about right now, it's grown people talk, okay? It's for people who are actually ready for a relationship.
Right.
Who are ready for commitment, who want to take that step in a relationship. If you're not serious about wanting to be in a relationship, if you just kind of doing your thing, certain things can apply, but I'm not necessarily talking to the people who just kind of want to do their own thing. I'm talking to the people who actually want to build something together.
Right.
So what's up, everybody? What's up?
I see somebody on there said communication.
Yes.
Already off rip.
Yep. Communication is key.
I feel like as men, that's really the one thing that we all look for. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we don't want to ask you 100 times, what's going on? Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, am I doing the right things?
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I'm hungry, I'm gonna tell you I'm hungry. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like let's just reciprocate that.
Right.
That's one thing I think that's the number one thing on my list for what I need as a man in a relationship is definitely communication.
No, I feel that. So I think a lot of men can relate to that, right? Like, hey, just talk to me. However, a man needs to make a woman feel safe to talk to you. She needs to know that when she speaks, you're listening. So I think for women, one of the top things is listen, without judging me, without making me feel like I can't express myself to you, because then I'm going to shut down. Then I'm not going to want to talk to you. I'm not going to want to say anything. And then you're going to be upset because, oh, you don't know what you want. Oh, you don't know what you want to say. It's just like, because you haven't created a safe space for me to do that.
Right.
Because when women get around their girlfriends and people that they mess with, like, they have no problems talking. They will talk. But when we talk relationships, it's a matter of she needs to feel comfortable to speak. And yeah, I just lost my train of thought. It's all good though. Drew a blank. But but yeah, communication is definitely key. Vulnerability, just offering both each other that space, because where, say, like a woman can express her emotions maybe a little bit better than a man, woman needs to make a man also feel safe that, like, he can be vulnerable and he can express himself without her making him seem like he's not manly enough, or, emotions aren't for men, because that's unrealistic too,
Yeah, I feel like as a man, I don't really wear my emotions on my sleeve like that. But when I do show my emotions or whatever, it's felt. You know what I mean? It's sincere. I'm really like in a place of like, I just need you to understand. Just listen to me real quick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, just like you were saying, that listening thing, that hearing and listening are two different things.
Yes.
I can hear everything you're saying, but that doesn't mean I'm listening. So
hearing is passive.
Very much so.
Listening is an active thing that you're doing.
And you have to practice that, because you can't just say that we watching my wife listen to the baby right now.
Tapping into her mommy.
Hey, man.
What up, little man?
But yeah, that listening and that hearing thing are two separate things. You have to be able to distinguish between the two. I feel like in relationships, that goes into communication as well. Are you listening to me? Can you understand and comprehend? Can you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, don't just play devil's advocate and tell me the other side. You know what I'm saying? Tell me where the faults were, where, like, if I'm coming to you and I'm like, yo, I messed up, I did X, Y, and Z or whatever. And then you're coming at me with disdain, or you're not really hearing what I'm saying, but you heard the first part, but you ain't hear the rest. You know what I mean?
You want to
nitpick at what the pieces that you want to hear. You got to listen to the whole thing.
But selective hearing or selective listening. Yeah. That's what you do. It's like, okay, no, listen to the broader picture. Okay, let's not focus on this one little point. Like, let's look at the big picture. Let's figure out what the real issue is at hand.
And then how to come back. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always a resolution in these conflicts. Don't ever just go through a argument and think that that should be the end of the argument. Or who said that shit? I mean, me and my wife said to each other, we're not gonna go to sleep angry. You know what I mean? We're gonna be able to talk this shit out. We're gonna be able to come to common ground, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be fighting against each other. We're in a relationship, we're in a partnership together. So it's not a fight to see who's right or wrong. It's to find that common space to be like, all right, we live in here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you're a team.
Or if we don't go to bed mad at each other, we do have to find, like you said, the common ground, and just like a place to table it and agree, and just like stop there for the night, and then continue to work towards the resolution if we can't come to a resolution that night.
Right. And that's also perfectly fine too. Like, communicating if maybe you don't have the energy, or maybe you just don't know. You need some time to sit on it so you can really come to the conversation with something of value. Maybe it's like, hey, you know what? I know that we got something going on. Like, can we just, sleep on this? Let's, not harbor any feelings, but I just need some time to think things through, and we can come together. And when we talk, then we can actually have an intelligent conversation rather than fighting,
Yeah.
you know?
I feel like even growing through these 7 years with Kiana, it's been that. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to figure out we're figuring it out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm not gonna say we got everything together, but we definitely got that part to where it's like,
Right.
all right, if we're upset, let's take a minute, relax, come talk to each other. Even if it's like we I don't even want to talk about it, man.
It's
No,
all
but
good.
we always come back. We always find a good place. So I'm just happy about that.
No, but the listening and then being heard thing is definitely something like that I think all young couples struggle with. And being able to actually have an intelligent conversation is something that we don't have the maturity to be able to do when we're younger. And now we're at a place when we understand our piece and don't want anything to mess it up. And sometimes, like you said, we just don't have the energy for it. But we're mature enough now to know that prior to going into the conversation.
No, and it's important, and it's learning each other too, because not everybody handles stress the same.
Yeah.
Some people, hey, no, I got a problem. I want to talk about it now. It needs to be handled now.
That'd be me.
And someone else, it's like, hold on. I got to think about what I'm going to say. I really don't want to say something I don't mean. Like, I want to make sure I'm coming correct, you know? And I think too, especially just as a woman, like there's different like little processes.
So is
that
it
we have
all
to go
women
through,
who
like,
want to do that?
emotionally? Like, you
all
just
y'all
have
want to sit on it and wait?
Yeah, because the thing is, like, sometimes we can get too wrapped up in our emotions and be speaking to you from a very emotional level rather than bringing some logic to it and some intelligence to it.
But what if I'm bringing the logic and intelligence and I'm like, look here, I'm not tripping. I just want to talk.
But it's a matter of, even though you're in that space, sometimes we just need a little like woosah, like personally, and to go through things on our own and be like, okay, you know what? Honestly, that's not something I need to bring to the conversation. Honestly, that's not what I'm really even mad at. Oh, this is actually what I need to bring up. This is the root of the problem. Because then when a woman has all those emotions going, and if you push her to talk, then I think that's when she can either get mouthy, she can say something she doesn't mean, and you know, it can just egg her on to just continue this, you know, fight emotionally, and it just goes nowhere. You start running in circles and everybody's misunderstanding each other. And so I definitely think that if there's something needs to be said. However, as far as say like a long drawn out conversation, maybe that can be tabled for when both are emotionally ready to make that happen.
So I felt like we tackled communication. What's another aspect?
One of the comments was listening to understand instead of listening for an opportunity to speak.
Yes.
That is very key.
I learned that one a long time ago.
Because a lot of times we'll sit there and we'll hear the person while we think about like, okay, when he done, I'm about to say this.
I'm about to do this.
I'm about to get him. I'm about to, rather than listening to learn like, okay, who is this person? What is this person about? How are they feeling? So then I can register like what their point of view is, and then I can figure out what it is that I need to say.
Right.
Because something that they could be saying could override what I may be thinking or what I'm trying to bring to the table. It's like, oh, actually, they kind of clarified that for me. Never mind. That's actually not an issue. We just had a misunderstanding. And you chalk it up.
Yeah.
And then we got, sometimes it's best to put some space between each other for a minute and then come back and talk about it. You're more calm. And yeah, again, just being able to be level-headed in conversation rather than, you know, it just turning into like a lot of tension and fuel. Because some of that stress could, if you force it, like let's just say like I'm, you know, in a disagreement with my partner. If I have like a long day at work too, and you're trying to like force me to talk, and like there's other things that are going through my mind, you gonna get the energy from the issue we got, and you're getting all of the other stuff too.
Absolutely.
So that's where I think, you know, either a man or a woman needs to sit there and maybe process the other emotions and be like, oh, okay, this is actually not a reason for me to be mad at them. Like, this is actually what I'm upset at. This is what I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
So that you don't get more than you really are responsible for, you know? So
Yeah.
It's like doing self-reflection early.
exactly.
Doing self-reflection prior to going into the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's perfect. But I just want to reiterate these emotional needs again, though. And you guys can give me your opinions on them. So in this chapter, it's discovering our different emotional needs, and there's 12 kinds of love, and he kind of breaks it down into 6 needs from women, 6 needs for men. Women need to receive caring, understanding, respect, devotion, validation, and reassurance.
I 100% agree.
And yeah, it's all those things. And I
It's
kind
definitely all those things.
of like, you want to feel cared about.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, you want to know that, like, you're not the only one who's putting forth effort to say into your relationship, right? And then understanding, like, that's one of, I think, the bigger things is I just want to be understood, you know, because being misunderstood is just, it's just not a fun place to be in, or at least like, try to understand. You know, we're not always going to completely resonate with one another, but at least being able to logically, you know, break down how the other person may be feeling or empathize with them.
Yeah, or why they made those decisions and what were the things fueled behind making that kind of decision. Being understood is really an important part of a relationship.
Respect, for sure. Hold on. This comment real quick. Nothing good comes out of my mouth at the heat of the moment.
Facts.
It's crucial that I take time out and collect my thoughts. Yep. And just hit it on the nail. You know, like we're saying, you know, sometimes, especially depending on your personality. If you got a fiery personality, I know I can have a fiery personality, very fiery. So I'm like, look, let me just have my time so I don't blow up and explode and cause a forest fire up in this thing.
That's how I feel every day when I get off of work.
Because you don't deserve it.
I need at least 15 minutes, an hour. Give me an hour, 2 hours by myself. You already sleep. So there should be no complaints. But I need 2 hours by myself just to decompress from the bullshit that I was experiencing at that place.
What's up? What's up?
Because it's a lot that we take on as individuals, and we have to realize that people are still, you know, just because we got married or we're in a relationship, these are still 2 different people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There's still things that are going on within a person's mind 24/7 that you will never know. You know what I mean? And that's no fault to your partner or anything. It's just, that's how this shit go. Like, it's you will never know 100% a person.
Yeah. I mean, and just along that same, you know, tip, it's just each of us has a slightly different reality. While we may have shared experiences and shared emotions, the lens that we have, we each have a different camera.
That is a perfect description.
We like literally, just even in this room, right? My vision right now, the picture of my life right now is completely different than the picture that you have looking at us 2.
Yeah.
It's just nobody is looking through the same lens. So it's a matter of putting yourself in that other person's, you know, shoes and really getting down to like, oh, dang, like, let me look at their perspective. You know, if I was in that position, how would I feel? You know, rather than being so self-centered and thinking, you know, the world kind of revolves around you. Like, no, honor your differences and understand that it's okay if you don't understand everything about a person. It's okay if you don't know everything about a person. You know, and I think a lot of us kind of sometimes will push things because we just want to know everything, you know, because, oh, well, they're my partner. I need to know everything. Yeah. It's like, you know, we all deserve that space for independence and freedom and, you know, just for our personal space. Like we need that.
I mean, because to be real, we all came in the world by ourselves, you know? So it's like, I just feel like I still need those times to myself. You know what I mean? Like, there was years before I knew Kiana. You know what I mean? So it's like there was times where I was by myself and I was happy, not happy, and I was just by myself in the solitude of happy.
Mhm.
You know, I was happy
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
solitude. So it's like, yeah, still give me that. Let me get that. Let me get that freedom.
Yeah, because just because you're in a relationship or a friendship or whatever it is, even like with your parents or grandparents, whatever, any relationship, you have to allow for space to be independent because, it becomes parasitic and you become codependent.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets to a point where like you can't live without each other. And it's just like, that's not healthy. Like it's okay to miss somebody. It's okay to admit that you got, feelings for this person or that person. But when it gets to the point where it's like smothering and
Yeah.
that person feels like they don't have an identity outside of the relationship or they can't have an identity outside of the relationship, it can bring, tension and strain. Let's see. I think as women, we have to learn how to communicate effectively to our partner to help them understand better. It takes both for sure. Yep.
Yes.
Because it's definitely a thing. Like just because you don't always feel safe, maybe from past trauma, that like, oh well, last time I spoke, this person shut me down. Like it's a new day, it's a new experience. You have to be able to practice communication. It might not be comfortable, but if this is somebody you care about, you got to try. You got to make an effort. Because you're a team. For example, when we get mad and they ask what's wrong, and our response is, I'm fine. Obviously, we're not. Yep. And that just comes with, like I said, men making a woman feel, comfortable. And then a woman just, hey, I might have gotten hurt in the past, but I can't bring that into this relationship. This is a new thing. This is a new person. This is a new day.
Or remember, just like what we was talking about earlier in the kitchen, assert yourself. You know what I mean? Just put your foot down. This is what's wrong. You know what I mean?
That's it.
Fuck this shit. Like at a certain point, some people need to just let it be known how it is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I want the blunt, honest truth. You know what I'm saying? Don't pussyfoot. I never really want you to pussyfoot around with telling the truth. Just if you got something to say it.
Right.
Because if I got something to say, I know I'm gonna say it. And that's just the person that I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna, put that on every male or whatever, but that's just the person that I am. If I have something to say to you, I'm gonna say it.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't want the same thing. I think, but that's just like what you're talking about. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
So I can't expect her to be like, all right, now I'm gonna be as abrasive as you and
Exactly.
just give you what you want. Like, no.
And that's where, you have to put the work in, right? Like if you're wanting to build with this person, you have to learn this person and be able to encourage each other in your weaknesses. It's just like, okay, if you know she has a hard time speaking to you, if you know that she's, had in the past, like maybe, her parents never listened to her. She never felt like her opinion was valid. She was shot down all the time or vice versa. You have to allow that space for that person to grow. You have to allow that person to get comfortable, to assess their new reality and be like, you know what, this is actually a safe space for me to grow here. He's actually giving me that. And it takes practice on both sides. The one person being able to communicate and the other person being patient and holding space, especially when you know that person and you care about them.
Y'all preaching today.
Preaching.
No, that's her.
What'd I do? Okay.
What else you got from the book?
So
what did the men need? Because we read what women need.
Yeah. And then the other ones I had already kind of went through, but yeah, devotion, validation, reassurance. Men need trust, big one, I feel personally. Acceptance, appreciation, admiration.
That's a big one.
Approval and encouragement.
I agree with all of those as well.
I personally feel like, where is it? I feel like for a man, trust and appreciation are like top.
You think so?
I think encouragement's up there too.
Yes. Particularly I feel like with black men.
Trust and encouragement, probably. And a little admiration sprinkled on top. Like that never hurts.
It doesn't.
Because like I feel like through me leaving my parents' house, I knew I was like, all right, I'm not gonna be no bum. Because if I decide to court somebody, how I look. This is a reflection on them. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I felt like I was like, let me go ahead, do what I need to do, buckle down and make my life right. And I found somebody. And then I was like, all right, let me go ahead and hold this down because I trust her. You know what I mean? I wouldn't trust a lot of people with, you know, a lot of the shit that me and her did at 18, 19. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, yeah.
Then y'all been knowing each other for that long?
Longer than that.
Y'all got some history.
Like 16 when we met.
Oh, okay.
How old are you in high school, freshman year?
Okay.
Well, how old are you then? 15? Yeah, I think I was 15.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
It wasn't like friends.
No.
Friends.
But I knew her.
Yeah.
So that trust came, then acceptance. I mean, she had to accept me. She knew me. She knew who I was. She know me. She know who Vari is. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
But Vari done toned down. You know what I mean?
He turned down for all of it.
Okay.
And now it's just
name Jabari.
You know what I mean?
Turned down for what, really?
So
For Kiana.
I know, right? For 2 kids.
That's what you turning down for, okay?
But
a family.
Yeah, what was I saying? Acceptance. Yeah, she accepted me. She accepted me for who I am and for, you know what I'm saying? So I had to come with that, and I had to give her damn, what do women need?
Care.
I had to care for her.
Yeah.
I had to understand her. You know what I mean? And I respect her too much. So it's like she gives me everything. You see what she was just doing for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Look, without question too, she was like, babe, I got you.
Look at that. So
I
it's
got
like,
you.
so she holds
She
me
on
down.
that, she
that should be
shit.
on one of the things and
She on
holding
that
you down. So
on top of that, you have to understand that we went through all this, and half the time he was literally in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think the holding it down comes with the acceptance part, kind of.
Yeah.
In a sense, because it's like clearly, if like I'm accepting you and all your flaws, and I still want to be here, like I'm in essence holding it down.
And in that encouragement.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think encouragement is a big one too, just because like
we need it.
This world is kind of hardened men, you know, in a sense where it's just like you know, they can't express, or maybe they can't feel emotions or have an emotional moment or whatever the case is.
And that's because the way the world is set up. The world makes you work all day. All you do is work. Then you come home, you get a couple hours with your family or whatever. You got to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Then you get up and you got to do it again. Yeah. So it's like, at the end of the day, what other emotions am I feeling other than tired as hell?
Facts.
You're not lying. See, this is why there's got to be plans of getting, you know, compound popping, okay? And I'm just saying, that's why we just got to get some land and go do our own thing and make our own rules, because, you know, we don't got to create, you know, a whole new world, but it's definitely going to be different than this whole
create our new world.
Slaving away. I still feel like our generation is breaking that down. Our generation is definitely breaking the hold. We've talked about this before, just dads kind of just being there and not being as active. We're breaking that down. Men not having emotion. We're breaking that down.
Well, that's because the women that we have now are, you know what I mean? They're a little bit, I'm not going to say the women before us were like not emotionally there, but they weren't emotionally there like y'all are. You guys are kind of invested in your men a little bit more, like the men that you actually want to be. You want to know his emotions. You want to know how he feels. You want to know these little things about them.
We make it safe for y'all to do that.
Yeah, like I never really heard my dad talk around, you know, any woman that he was with about his feelings or emotion. Maybe 1 or 2 times, but other than that, not really. You know, not a lot. So I like the way that these women now are like, I like a man who's in tune with his emotions. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's not like a frowned upon thing anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's innately, you know, a part of you, you know, just like, you know, there's feminine aspects to a man, even though he might live in his masculine more, there's still feminine aspects to it. And same with a woman, even though she's more at home in her feminine, she does have masculine traits.
Every chick from New York.
Yo, relax.
Every single one of them. They be rough around the edges, but it's okay. They still women.
Oh.
You crazy. I just pictured a girl in Tim's like
With a big old army jacket
New
on.
York City sounds like, of course, Brooklyn.
I'm mad you got that.
Yeah,
That's for 5.
Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah.
that's facts. That's perfect for him.
But yeah, it's just like being able to create a space for men to, express and everything, right? So that's where the encouragement, comes in. And I know in my last relationship, that was one of the things I really, was practicing. Like
Trying to give him
yeah,
encouragement.
just because he was going through, a tough time. I mean, we both kind of were, especially particularly like last year and everything, with the pandemic and, say like not working and whatever else. So like I just did my best to let him know he was still valuable, even though he was going through stuff, even though he didn't have, XYZ to maybe show for, maybe even though he thought he should have been somewhere where he's not. Like, you are still valuable. You are still worthy to me. You are still an amazing person. You're just going through something and you don't have to identify with that, So I'd always just be like, hey, like I see, doing your thing here. Like, anytime he'd maybe have like some good news or whatever, I would just make sure that I took that time to, call it out, to acknowledge it.
Right.
Yes.
Because it's like, you need you need a partner who's going to build you up. Now, it doesn't need to be something that's, like you're dependent on it, but you do have to encourage each other. I keep bringing it back to being like a team. And, it's just because with me doing gymnastics for my whole life, you learn so much about that, through sport and just through any kind of group activity, that when the going gets tough, whatever, like you're still there for each other. You're all going to have your bad days. You're all going to have, your times where you might not always agree or even like each other, but you have a common goal. There's something that you're both envisioning that you want to obtain, and you're not going to let anything get in the way of that goal,
Oh, they've been talking.
Oh, what's up, guys? Oh, yeah, we do got a couple. I was stuck up at the top. But do it together. Communication is key. Listening, yep. Encouragement. Black man goes through so much in life, and we are bashed. It's good to hear it from, it's good to hear it from a woman. Hard to trust a woman these days with our words because they use it against us. And
that's where men get scared.
Yes,
that's where men get scared in communication because we don't want. I was gonna bring this up earlier, but I didn't know how we was gonna.
No, hey, this is open floor.
Okay.
We talking about it all, okay? Because it ain't always sweet.
Because I was about to say that women do kind of make it hard for a man to open up sometimes, because there do be those women that'll call a man a
Doobidos. I'm sorry, that's my shit. My brain be picking up the weird shit.
Women be calling men soft, just like you were saying, for showing their emotions and stuff like that. And when that happens, a man will just shut down. And then you wonder why. Oh, I didn't know you felt like this. Or, you know what I'm saying? Because you never opened up or made it safe for me to come out and be like, this is how I'm feeling. Because every time I do that, you be like, you shit on me every time. So
yeah, and that's just like, that's embarrassing. Like, why do you want to sit there embarrassed like your significant other?
Exactly.
Like that's not cool. To try to prove a point or to hurt him in the same ways that maybe you feel hurt. Like that vengeful shit. It's petty, it's childish. And if that's the kind of stuff that you're on, you don't even need to be in a relationship if you're trying to seek revenge or you trying to one up your partner. Like, why are you in competition?
Exactly.
Why are you trying to make him feel inferior?
Right.
Because if he's not doing that to you, then you need to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's disrespectful too. A woman could end up developing this though. Let's just say, like, if she had to grow up more in like her masculine. Like, what if it was just, she grew up without her dad in her life or whatever, right? And her mom had to take on the role of being a man. And so she wasn't allowed to feel safe in her feminine. So now she has to, in order to compensate for what she's lacking in life, a man, a father, then she ends up just, being the one to take charge, being the one to, present herself in this masculine way to where she's not in tune with her feminine to be able to be what you need her to be, as far as encouraging you rather than bashing you.
Yeah.
So everybody's situations are different. People were raised differently, and there's so many different things that go into like why we are the way that we are. And that's why that self-reflection is super important, to be able to understand this is where I've been. These were the influences that were around me. This is how I act. Am I okay with this? Is this something I want to continue to embody? Or is this something that, is just programmed within me and like I actually kind of want to grow through that? But yeah, that I will I don't know, just having or hearing, women like bash like the men that they're with, like that really like gets to me for some reason.
Yeah, I don't understand if you're gonna do it publicly. There's no
That
reason
too.
why still be with that person.
Eesh.
I don't understand it.
It's like if you got that much to say, if you got that much built up resentment.
Yeah, crawling around Instagram and Facebook and shit. Motherfuckers that put they whole shit, cause they whole shit on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta stop doing that. You know, not everything is for the world.
No.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta fix in private. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Not even sometimes, all the time.
Right.
All the
Fix
time.
that
You
shit in
gotta fix it
private.
Right.
You know what I mean? Praise in public. Never, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't gotta, because that's a personal matter, because it's an issue between you and that person. It doesn't have to do with anybody else. But again, I'll see people do this who came from families that they did public embarrassment displays.
Yeah.
A kid do something wrong, and then in front of everybody, the mama or the daddy calling the kid out and like making him feel like shit, rather than just taking him into the room into the room and just be like, hey, like that wasn't cool. Why would you do that? Like,
yeah.
It's just like, that's something that we also learn as children sometimes. And then, you grow up unaware. But like you were saying earlier, we are aware now.
Mm-hmm.
We do have the intelligence. We are gaining in maturity. So now we have to be responsible for how we're acting. And we can't use, that stuff as an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
That was the environment you grew up in, but you're not there anymore.
Yep.
And you get to decide how you lead the rest of your life. But see, the women in single mother homes hasn't seen a man be a man in the house, haven't seen her mom take care of a husband. So they think independence, I don't need a man, is the right way. Right. Men and women. Exactly. So yeah, so she ends up living in her masculine rather than being like, hey, like, yes, I am a woman who can take care of herself, but, coming together with a man, creating a family and, surviving as a human race, that's kind of the, the goal. We complement each other in a lot of different ways. But yeah, when she gets stuck in that masculine and in that, like, oh yeah, I'm independent, I do this, I do that, it's just, she on that hard shit. And it's just like, boo-boo, like you can,
but at that
ease
point,
up. Let me take some of the load off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Let a man be a man.
it's a hard transition.
It is.
Because people live so much
It
of their
is.
lives in survival mode.
Yeah.
That it's hard to get out of that.
It is, because I've even battled with, asserting myself.
You ran some niggas off?
Huh?
You ran some niggas off?
No, and not like
What?
No.
Nah, being an assertive ass woman sometimes it'll scare a man.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay,
Yeah,
I
that.
missed it. I took it
honestly,
wrong.
I feel like if anything, like through my relationships, I felt like if anything, I wouldn't really speak up that much. Like I had a hard time like speaking like my truth. So I wasn't one to really be mouthy, but let's just say like if some dude's trying to like holla at me, like I'm over here cracking jokes like, oh yeah, we homies, like I'm the home girl, you know what I'm saying?
You made it real uncomfortable. That's what happened. You was the uncomfortable one.
It was just like, I'm trying to holler, girl.
Right,
You
like,
over here
damn, you
making
just
jokes
like-
and shit. You over here laughing and want to flame me? Like,
Now I gotta walk away. Where you going? I can see that shit. Nigga think he fresh to death. He like, yo, let's get it. She like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna just flame your ass real quick.
with your egg head built
Nigga walking away. That'll be sad.
built like some French toast.
Oh god.
But that
He's
I
out
mean,
here. Randy was out here crushing
Hey,
souls.
hey,
They brought
it was
this
where I
to
grew
pain
up,
and
all right?
And then she started getting goofy and shit. So now they
Nah,
like,
for real.
damn.
For
I
real.
didn't know. I saw you from afar. I'm sorry.
No, that's for real how I was though. Like, because in my high school, like that's all we did. And during my teenage years, I didn't have my dad in my life either. So, like we we're talking about, I took on that role, that masculine role. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking for men to be in my life who I could like, that could be of support, to me. And I think that that's why growing up, I was more of a tomboy too, because I was trying to fill that void of not having that masculine presence in my life. So I think that's why that ended up happening, because I used to be on some, oh my god, that girly shit is just so
I'm still there.
I mean, hey, I'm still a
there.
tomboy, okay? But I've embraced my femininity a lot more, and I'm not afraid to express it anymore. I'm not afraid to show it, and I can, I dabble in both. You know what I'm saying? I do both.
Yeah, that comes with growing as a woman, though. It takes a while for us to really be like confident in who we are, regardless, because you go through so many phases growing up. It's weird. And then even after you're a woman and then I don't know, pop kids out. That's a whole nother it's a whole nother process. It takes a while.
It takes a while.
I needed the H for emphasis. A while.
I was about to say, why, people? My bad.
Okay.
Let's see the comments. You said be a lady. Hey, I mean, I be doing it now. Okay. We gotta preach. Okay. So when you do crack the jokes and all of that, how does a man approach you? How would you like a man to approach you?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Wait, so you trying to
About to slide in your DMs after this.
About to slide up in that thing. But
that's a whole different.
It's just her choice. I feel like that's what it would be, because it would just be the way the nigga approach.
Right. It would depend.
Yeah, like it's your eye. You know what I mean? If this motherfucker catch it, then okay, then I'm gonna calm down. I ain't gonna be so goofy. But if the nigga just, what's good, homie?
But see, that comes with acceptance. At the same time, we was talking about that. You gotta let me be goofy, and if you can't get past me being goofy,
okay. But what is she supposed to do from the goofy if he already came over with the intentions?
Yeah, you gotta get creative, man.
Yeah, you gotta come through a different angle, because clearly the angle you coming at, I'm over here just keying and just want to make jokes.
But when does that stop? I think he's asking, when does that stop?
I mean, we would just have to hang out, and for me to fill you out and see if I.
So how do I get to the hangout spot if I can't even?
Well, we can have a conversation, right? So if you could like make me like laugh, like
okay, So you
gotta make a comeback.
Yes, exactly. So you gotta come back and like low key. Don't hurt my feelings like that. Okay? You ain't gotta come and sit there and put me on blast, but say a little something funny. Let me know that I could sit there and we could make jokes and
that makes it comfortable for you.
Yes, exactly, because I do have that goofy side. So, and sometimes I act goofy if I'm like nervous. So
yeah,
it's like but. Yeah, just be goofy. And then also too, her goofy was, I'm the homie, not flirty goofy.
Comedy.
Wait, what? Her goofy was, I mean, it can be both. It depends. I could be the homie goofy and I could be flirty goofy. Yeah. It depends on who it is.
You just gotta know what you gotta know and be able to read between the lines.
Exactly. You got to be able to read between the lines, okay? Because I can do both, okay? I dabble. Whatever a situation is I see fit, okay?
That's what she said. Jokes go far sometimes.
But yeah, and then you gotta offer some food or some adventure. You know what I'm saying?
Heavy on the food for me.
Heavy on the food.
Some
kind of activity. Like, let me see how you are. Like, I don't know, doing something.
Not
so if somebody asks you going, if somebody you just meet asks you going hiking, you going?
That's a little different, okay?
like if it's just like a one-on-one thing, like if it's a group thing.
I'm trying to think about what you would do.
What?
What you would do.
Oh, no. Not if I just met you. I had somebody, I remember I was working at the Wynn. I had met somebody and they was trying to like hang out and take me on a date. And he was on some, yeah, let's go on a hike in the morning. And I'm just like,
Nah, so I can come up missing in the morning.
right. Like I ain't
What you
trying
talking
to
about?
be on the news.
But see, you're aware the people that be going missing aren't always.
You know? So
That motherfuckers just be saying, yeah. See, this is why if we grew up around the times of like Ted Bundy's and fucking the real serial killers, niggas wouldn't be getting kidnapped or nothing like that.
Nope.
You crazy? Soon as a motherfucker come out talking about, hey man, I got what? You.
I'm going.
Let's go whoop his ass.
but you have to understand that like nowadays with technology and stuff like that, it's a little bit like it's easier to get caught if you doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. You know,
Yeah.
like back then, say like people didn't have like cell phones like that and stuff.
They
So
ain't have
if
no
they was
common
out
sense
there-
either. They ain't have common sense at all.
So if they was out there, they was just out there. You know, like so.
Yeah, I guess.
It's hard to put yourself in those shoes, I guess, because
Yeah.
we can't really.
Nah, man, I felt like I've experienced some motherfuckers trying to kidnap a nigga, and I'd be like, nope. I already knew.
I always have an.
I just feel
escape
like we
plan.
were raised. It's not even about the way everybody was raised. Sometimes it's just we was raised right.
He says some men are just not smooth enough. Hike in the morning. Yeah. No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
A hike in the morning.
But
That nigga
it would
wanna
have
see
to be
your
some kind of like
sweatpants.
activity, you know, like I don't know, something fun or like adventurous, you know, like
You guys remember
give me an
that,
experience.
The escape room.
Oh,
that would be fun.
Yeah, that would
That
be a
would be
good
fun.
date idea.
Not a movie.
No,
'Cause
not
we're
before I do it.
talking.
What you mean? So movies aren't good? That's not a good first date? That used to be the go-to.
Yeah, because we were fucking 5.
Okay, you know, we can still go say to like watch a movie, but I'm not on no Netflix and chill stuff. That's the thing. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
we gotta
am-
go to a theater,
look.
and I need the biggest box.
If
of
you are
popcorn.
the
trying,
large.
the large, I need to see you got money.
if you're trying to maybe mess with a girl, that Netflix and chill stuff will work off tops. However, but if you're trying to mess with a woman, don't talk about no Netflix and chill when you just trying to get to know her. Because I'm already knowing where your head at. Okay. And you just
It's the wrong head. That's all she was saying. I know where your head at, and it's in your pants.
Oh, he said you funny for sure. I think we all have some defenses and choose who to let in. We don't want to be open to everybody, especially if you're a woman. Some people are dangerous. Yeah, you know, it just the more in tune a woman gets with her intuition, and the more a woman feels safe and trusting her intuition, that's when she can kind of be able to navigate that world a little bit better too, as far as maybe putting herself in a dangerous situation, say like with like a man, because if a woman has constantly let's just say she's had relationships where dudes cheated on her, whatever, lied to her, all this stuff, she's constantly doubting herself because this dude is over here like lying, and then also doing some crazy shit behind the scenes, and she starts to not trust herself because it's like, dang, like I put myself in this situation when really in reality she was just vulnerable with somebody and they took advantage of it.
Right.
And granted, like once you start to realize that, hey, I'm being taken advantage of, you should probably get out. But sometimes those defenses are altered through the trauma that we experience and stuff like that. So that's why I think that women in general practice a little bit more caution, or try to practice caution when doing those things, because it's like, this can get weird. I don't know if I could trust you. I don't know if I could trust myself, because what if I make a wrong choice again,
I feel like now we're looking for like what we didn't have when we were growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in your partner, like in my partner, I'm looking for like I was saying, communication.
Right.
I'm looking for somebody that actually will hear me and listen to what I'm saying, because for a long time, there was a time where I would be not heard, or I would ask questions, not get answers, or certain things like that. And it's like, damn, I don't ever want to feel like that. I don't want to put my kids through no shit like that. I don't want to be with a person who wouldn't even allow me to, express myself or be the person that I am. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't be me, then we can't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, I definitely agree with that. And that's what comes with the reflections, just understanding like this is what my parents gave me, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. And then you try to do better, right?
Yeah, and you gotta apply it.
Yeah. And you have to actively apply it. You can't just talk about it.
And constantly. You can't apply it once.
Yep.
You gotta apply that
all the time
in practice.
And that's just life though. And I think that that's where people get life twisted and relationships twisted is they, especially with the world that we've created with this instant gratification, people think that you can do something half-assed and have these grand results. And like how many times are people selling online like, oh, it's just these 5 easy steps and you'll be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta apply all of those things.
And it's consistency. It's practice. It's when shit is hard, like you keep going. You don't just throw in the towel and just be like, all right, on to the next thing. Like, no, you keep at that.
Yep.
You keep doing it. No matter how many times you fall, you keep getting up. And so a lot of people have just lost just even a passion for life, let alone a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that, sometimes people will lose that passion, like say in their life, and they try to fill that void with a relationship and they're not even ready for one, because they haven't even come to terms with their own.
That is very true. But I think a lot of that comes from social media too, because of instant gratification. And then because back in the day, it's not that people didn't know that they had other options, but you have ass right there on the internet. You got porn right there on the internet.
It's easily accessible. Yep.
And
niggas went crazy when they found out they could have that shit at the touch of a button.
And
I'm just playing.
Facts. Hey, that ain't no lie. The nigga was ready for that.
And that's where just like technology in general, it's just a matter of it can be a tool that can, be used for some amazing things, right? Like even just the stuff that we're doing like right now, right? However, it can be very destructive if you get lost up in that world.
Wait till they put the microchips in our heads. I ain't never leaving the house.
See,
Trust and believe.
he just had to go left. Like,
wait till the mic.
I'm
just saying the technology is
look,
going
I ain't
to
gonna be
crazy.
around at that time.
The technology gonna go crazy.
Look, and if
Why?
I am, you gonna find me in a forest, okay? I'm gonna be ducked off.
Y'all tripping.
Off grid. Y'all ain't never gonna find me.
They making superpowers? I'm down.
See,
no, I don't
I'm not down to be an experiment. I'm sorry.
Oh shit. We was already that.
I mean,
very possibly. I mean, I don't doubt
basically.
But I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good on it.
I don't know. That's too far for me. I won't even buy an Apple Watch, okay? Like I'm not I'm not even
I'm
there.
good.
I'm not even trying to be tracked like that.
I mean, I got my location off of my phone. I don't got my microphone on my phone on any apps, no camera on any apps. They be scanning all the stuff in your room now. And they try to send you advertisements.
For stuff you missing. Oh, you ain't got no couch? Let me throw this in your feed.
Hold on. They will naturally gravitate to you if it's organic. That's where a lot of relationships go wrong. If you genuinely love someone and care for someone, encouraging and communication will come. Oh, yeah. I mean, just in any kind of relationship, it has to be organic. You can't force things. It has to be a mutual, like we're working at this, or we're mutually interested, or we're mutually doing X, Y, Z. But I think that where that can get fuzzy is when we don't communicate properly.
Yeah.
And we're not honest with each other and ourselves about like our intentions too.
Right. Well, whew. Good job. That was nice.
Yeah, give me the chimes.
We're gonna get some snaps.
Get the chimes, get the chimes and the snaps. Get all that.
Yeah, we need snaps.
You know what it is.
Yes. So thank you, Randii, for that very, very it was hard hitting. It was enlightening.
It was.
It was everything we needed.
I felt
today.
it in my soul.
Yes.
I felt it in my heart chakra. It blossomed. The thing popped open. All right. It's overflowing with love.
So we're gonna sign off for the night. I want to thank Instagram for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
I want to thank
Appreciate
y'all
you.
in the community of YouTube and
Wait,
wherever
wait,
else
wait,
this
wait.
will be
There we go.
located. Make sure y'all go follow us, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff.
All that good stuff.
So
Thank you.
We'll be seeing y'all.